So we've got our Great One Pheasant, and it is now time to dive straight into the Red Fox grind. For those of you that have been in a lot of the pheasant grinding streams, you will be very much aware the Red Fox grind is something I've kind of been concerned about, dreading to a degree, and just fully expecting to take quite some time. So we're going to dive straight into this today, and first thing we got to do is go and set the time to pretty much the end of Red Fox drink time. Pretty much we're going to do 1900 or so. I will say, despite all the dreading and stuff I've done for this grind, we've spent a decent amount of time on it already, and it's actually not that bad. So we are doing the island method here on Salzwiesen Park, same map as we look for our Great One Pheasant. And I should clarify, this is not like a method I've come up with, but there's a bunch of guides out there in the community for pretty much how to set it up and how to do it. So Red Fox are different than really any other grind, in that even though they exist in pairs, you're effectively grinding solo zones over and over. You gotta kill both members of the pair to get the respawn, which means the zone goes away, and you gotta go and find it somewhere else. So as we head to what I consider kind of our first real spot, just to look at what we're doing, this area of the map is where we're focusing on, and the reason for all the tents in such a small area is that solo zone thing. The zones are moving around all the time, so we gotta check basically every square inch of the coastline around this island to figure out where the foxes are. So, first pair of foxes looks like they're actually fleeing, and I will also say, we're using the 300 AR. As I said, a lot of concern about this grind taking absolutely forever, and if there's a way to speed anything up, one of them would be hit the fox, but just basically ensuring there's no tracking needed, we're 100% on board with that, and hopefully, it's not too big a deal to identify rares in the distance. So finally, that guy's in view, or he was in view. I think we're gonna get a crack at him. Just what he's doing is really, really frustrating. I swear we're eventually gonna get him. There we go. Goodness gracious. That is a monumental waste of time, but I guess not the worst thing, since again, all we gotta do is get to him, claim him, and move on. But I promise, it doesn't usually look like that. That particular spot, clearly, the new drink zone that's come up for that pair, as the last drink zone went away when we killed them wherever, it ended up close enough to the tent that fast traveling to it spooked them. Usually we can just shoot them standing still. By the way, speaking of, two more out there, that's a good sign. They're about 300 meters away. And I will also note, I make a conscious effort to avoid deleting zones with hunting pressure, but keep in mind, you kill the foxes, they kind of go away anyway, so hunting pressure is not a huge deal, but I certainly wouldn't just be going out there, you know, intentionally causing a ton of pressure, but that is what's supposed to happen. And when they're in areas that are not too close to the tents, generally what does happen. So we've got really what was our first fox kill. Hit it in the stomach, but again, 300 is kind of just the cure for all that kind of stuff. And as we head over here to claim these other two, normally with our Great One Grind videos, I like to show one full run and then kind of get into highlights. But because of the way this sort of method works here on the island, I think I want to do two full runs, just so you can get a really decent idea of what we're looking at. I have to say, this is exceptionally good luck. Like, these first three spots all having fox, that is far from the norm, but two more dead, or two more dead once that female goes down, but surely doesn't take long with this. And I should probably note, if you're watching this right now and thinking actually this doesn't look too bad, maybe I'll give it a try, what I would 100% recommend is just going and looking up a guide for how to do this island method. There's some setup that's required that probably is a little bit too complicated to get into right now. Now that's weird. I claimed the male, right? Okay, I don't know why these tracks are here. Either another pair spawned immediately, or there was another pair here. That's a thing you'll get, two pairs in the same spot. And maybe I just didn't see them? Almost had to be what happened. Anyway, as far as the setup and stuff goes, it's too much to get into right now, but definitely getting the setup correct is pretty important. But the consistency right now is fantastic. Another pair of foxes at our next zone. This is fairly abnormal as well. Getting to a point where just as we're claiming foxes, the next ones are already visible. That is, I can guarantee by the end of this, not going to be happening every single time by any stretch. Need to kind of get out of the way of the grass, but being crouched for the extra stabilization is nice. This is also different in that because they're so small, literally that exact thing, it's so easy to just shoot right over them, shoot right under them. Your zeroing and being dead on is so important, but since we've got a tent here, I think we can kind of get into position and make a follow-up somewhere. There he is. Just actually heading up towards the tent, which probably helps. The only thing is, the hill's kind of in the way. Is it going to stay in the way? I mean, eventually he has to come into sight here. There we go. And, back to what we were doing earlier, except we actually hit the shot. But I want to say that's our 4th pair of foxes already, which, again, exceptional luck. They're usually not just all in a row like this, but when they are, it makes it really nice. So then let's grab this female here, and that was a high shot as well. Not really a surprise, then we shot over the back of the other one. So, gonna just continue our way down this sort of western coast of the island. There's finally another pair. 5 and a 4 there. And also, sometimes at this spot, we'll see if they're doing it this time. I get it where they must spawn like somewhere down in here, and they run right in front of this tripod, but no issues with that. This time we can just go ahead and make these shots. I'm gonna show you on the map just how much like ground we've covered, because it has hardly been like it was before, where every single zone essentially, or every single tent, had fox. This whole area down along here, and now heading up the eastern side of it, had none of them. And that's what I want to get across, mostly in like showing you 2 different runs, just how, I'm gonna say, consistently inconsistent they are. There's consistent spots, but that doesn't mean they're there every time. Speaking of consistent, by the way, this is all the time. Foxes falling in water and floating away, so just finding out that that's happening and getting on them is pretty key to saving some time. So right up there at the end of that is another spot. I don't see any there, and we kind of have 2 spots left, including the one that we started at. You'll also notice it's past 2000 hours. I think it's at like 2013 or something. It's typically fine. Foxes move quite slowly. Like, those ones are still standing there. Those add the 10, by the way. If we could just have their levels combined, we'd be good to go. That would be pair number 6 then. I've had as many as 8, and I'm not exactly sure if that means there's always 8 out here and I'm missing some sometimes or what, but 6 for a run, I would say that's pretty average to even quite good. So then one final spot to check. Got our level 3 there, and obviously what would have been a gold, but shooting with the 300 kind of make sure that doesn't happen. 10.97 for him, and right back to where we started. Remember I said foxes move slowly? That also applies to them getting into their zones, and quite often, this particular spot, they're not here when we start the grind, but when we come back around to the end, we will get them here. The fact that we had 6 pairs, I'm not that shocked that they're not here this time, and they also have a tendency to be like halfway in the water, so we really gotta check. But I see none there, and that means one full run is already done. So as we set up another one, as you can see, it's not that bad. Like, you can get through it pretty quickly, and sometimes it produces some pretty cool stuff. Impact the streamer. That's albino, right? Ooh, it's a male. Let's go. Just a little level 4, but that's pretty sick. Most important thing, I recognized that straight away. Like, immediately could tell something was different. Oh yeah. Definitely albino. Cool. First official grind session. First rare. Alright, let's see if we can just get a little closer. Okay, attentive. 170 should be fine. I mean, if I mess it up, it's fine. He's a 4, but I'd rather not. Look good. Now this one. Look good. And first trophy of the grind. If you count the 9 that I killed when I was pheasant grinding, I guess second trophy, but really first trophy. Nice. So the updated melanistics, in my opinion, are the best of the fox models. I hate that it does that. They redid the melas, I think, with the most recent update. Like when they added Great One foxes, and they look really good. But I do like the new albinos too. Double lung. 174 meters, first rare of the grind to the lodge. That's cool, man. So kind of amazing in a sense. Our first ever male albino fox. And by the way, first spot here has 2 pairs of foxes, and this is where we killed the 2, like, from a distance, obviously without a tripod. You can just tell based on all the hunting pressure. So already different than that first run. And pretty much every single run is different from the last. Now, getting all 4 of these is very doable. If we had hit that male, it would have been way easier. We'll just reload. Plenty of room to get shots. And there's 2 ways we can do this. We can either try to get them on the run, or we can wait till they go to a trot. I kind of think maybe, well, facing us is usually pretty easy. If they're running halfway broadside, I like to just wait, because if you keep shooting, they keep spooking and don't ever slow down. But in that case, wasn't bad, and already 4 down on run number 2. And maybe now's a good time to reiterate, because this question comes up a lot. Why am I shooting female foxes? They cannot respawn as a male, they can't respawn as a great one, anything like that. However, you can't get the respawns of the males that are in the pairs with the females unless you kill them both. If you just kill the male, you're going to have a single female standing there and no male showing up until you kill that female too. So that's the reason for it, and that's also why pairs are kind of key to this. And speaking of pairs, 2 down, we have a level 4 male that time, along with, was it a 4 female too? No, a 5 female. A lot of times you get the female actually outscoring the male, but as far as I know, doesn't really make a difference. We just need them all dead. And quite a stark contrast between like the first run and this one. We're already at our last/second to last spot, because we gotta go up here to where we started again to really finish the run. But there were only those 2 pairs, and there's kind of 2 explanations for that. One is they were just kind of slow getting into their zones, and that's the thing with Fox. Oh, the other is they've clustered up in a spot, and there's multiple pairs in the same area, so that would get us up to like 4, I think. I don't know, do we want to shoot from here? Do we want to try to get over there? Getting over there might be better. Waypoint on the Fox so we know what direction to turn when we get here, because obviously they're going to be on the move. And I'm not promising we're going to get these, but it's at least good to know they're here. And we just had to get to the right spot, which of course was our last spot. Oh, so this does happen. That's what I was hoping they would do. They will sometimes run right past the tripod. So that's 2 of them. I think the other 2 went another direction. Yeah, up there. I saw the other one too. If we get this, which we did not, I would have gone and tracked like the second member of that pair just to get them. We'll just get those 2 on the next run. And at least hopefully, these 2 runs have demonstrated what this Fox grind can look like. When it's working good and they're where you expect them to be and pretty well spread out, it's, I would even say, quite efficient. I rather enjoy it. When it's more like this, where the pairs are sort of clustered into a couple of spots, it can be a little more difficult, and I wouldn't say frustrating. You just have to understand that's what's happening, and when you get at least 1 pair, hopefully they move and things are looking better for the next one. So from here, as I said, we're going to hopefully get some highlights. We shall see how that goes. Foxes obviously aren't the easiest trophies to get, but, you know, sometimes on stream you get more than one cool thing. You don't like Piebald Fox? I don't like how fluffy and weird their faces are. I've never seen a fox in my life that has such fluff. I don't like the orange fur either. Now, great ones are a different deal, obviously. Oh my god, dude, that's a Piebald Fox. What the heck? Bro. What is actually going on? I thought that was a great one, I'm not gonna lie to you. That's creepy. Game was like, you don't like Piebald Fox? Here you go. Okay. Alerted him. I would like if I could see. That'll work. Now that one. Now that one I said. Don't need to go and look where she is. She's right there. Alright, we'll pick that one up. Well, I guess we'll get it first. Big fluffer. If it wasn't night, I'd get radar to sit by him and take a screenshot, but I'll just do that. And we have our first gold rare of the grind. Okay, we missed the heart. It was actually single lung that dropped him. 11.24 gold, though. I guess that also confirms, at least for Piebald Fox, they score random within the estimate, not top or bottom. Got the white down the legs, like the sort of stripy sort of deal on the tail. I just don't like their faces. The rest of it I do like, to be fair. But their faces look weird. Alright, let's tax that. 2 rares today. Who would have thought? So not only have we killed an albino male already, we've also gotten a Piebald gold male, which was pretty darn nice. Also, knowing these foxes were here is rather convenient, because we can go ahead and at least attempt to get them both. There we go. Those are the same 2 that got away last time. So those are down, and we can continue on with our third run and hopefully get into some interesting stuff. So we've got level 4 female scoring 6.72. The male was, I think, somewhere around gold. And from here, we should be looking at much better foxes, at least for what gets included in this video. I'm planning on putting in a good number of hours. That would have been a gold, but hopefully we start to see some higher metals. So finally a mythical, and I think our first 12 to 15 estimate of this whole hunt. Now we're right about an hour into this, which would be, I guess, run number 5 just starting. It's way out there, and like probably we should go to this tent is right in front of it. But we'll try this. It's 360 or so. That got him. The broadside was the one I was worried about, but no problem to bring that down. Now, obviously, as we did with the rares, if that was a 9, we'd use the 243, but frankly, I just don't think it's worth the extra time. It's, you know, foxes move slow. We have less than 10 roll minutes to get the entire run done. For a mythical, unfortunately, we're going to turn it into a silver. And I will be interested, like, a lot of times where there's one, we start to see more and more big ones popping up. So that was a low score mythical for sure, 12.33. You can get 7s in that range, but at the distance, 370 meters, straight through the spine, in the lungs, and all that good stuff. And the female dead right here beside him, so good to see a decent one. And we have this thing again where, like, there's a zone here, and probably just because of where they were, they likely ended up spooking when we shot, or maybe when we fast traveled in. I think that's a melanistic fox. That doesn't look right. It has to be, right? The only thing we have with the regular scope is the 243. Oh yeah. So just like our pheasants, the first 3 rare foxes of this grind are all 3 variations. Now, how far are those? That is right on the line. Okay, it's 250. I really don't want to mess this up, but it's definitely not a gold mela. So I'm a little less concerned. If we can somehow get both of those, we can also get that pair running in front of us. So let's aim like neck height. Drop the mela, and then these 2 are right here. Got that one. And got that one. All 4 dead, and a pretty sweet rare. That, I think, despite the fact that it is a low estimate as a 6, is our biggest melanistic fox ever. We've had 2 level 5 males, if I recall correctly, and I'm saying all that at least being pretty sure he's a mela. Is that him laying right there? It is, and there you go, look at that. So the melanistic fox has definitely got like a little bit of a upgrade, I'll say, with the slight model change when Great One Foxes came out. And they just look really, really good, like those orange eyes. Oh my goodness, are you kidding me? 9.99? Gold is 10.03, so it was so close to being a gold anyway. Got him in the right lung at 249 meters though. Good deal. Probably then, we'll change up the multi-mount that we had with the Piebald and the albino, and put this one in, I guess, I almost want to replace the Piebald. That's awesome. So, I don't know how many kills we have total. I would imagine 600, maybe 650. 3 rares already. And I will add, as we grab this other pair that we got, that was the toughest one. Like, the Piebald and the albino, even with the night vision binos, really obvious. The thing with the mela is you don't see, like, the white neck patch and stuff, like the white fur on the face as well. You just gotta kind of be on the lookout for that. By the way, the female that was with the mela, we did not hit that one very well, but it'll still bring it down. Hopefully radar can track it for us. Actually, not a bad deal, but really good evidence as to why we used the 300. Praise radar for that, and grab our female that was with him. We were close, a little too far forward on that, and probably just a tiny bit low as well. But I mentioned, like, you know, comparing that to the pheasant grind in terms of getting all 3 rares in a row, I guess, at least meaning no duplicates. The opposite is, we have half the kills that we had before our first rare of the pheasant grind. Really interesting how that's worked out. There's another mythical, finally. Definitely not kind of the trend thing I talked about earlier, where when one mythical shows up, we start to see more and more big ones. No, like, max estimate 7s either, but generally speaking, like, just seeing a mythical, I consider a fairly good sign. It's probably, I don't know. I was gonna say it might be easier to just fast travel over there, but when we would fast travel, she would spook again, and then I'm not sure we would have gotten that shot, so that worked. And now 2 mythicals, plus the 1 melanistic, 12.35, so 2 very small mythicals in, you know, each case. And then this one over here, that almost looks like a fox track there. Could be raccoon dog for sure. Take a quick look at that. It is by itself. No, that's a male fox. So there's other ones out here somewhere. That's a good sign. Oh, hey. I think we found him. That's the female, which I'm assuming was with him. Question is, was he behind or in front? He was actually behind. Oh, jeez. There we go. Clutched that one with the last shot. And then a couple of less interesting ones to pick up. Got our level 4 there. I think this was a 5. 9.46 for that. And then we saw 8 to 12 kilo, and I guess to clarify, that's the track we picked up. So worked out in the end, got a couple of extra ones, even with all the misses. At least hit that one in the intestines and stomach. 9.3 for that. And, what, 3 bonus foxes? I guess 2, really, because the one in the pair with the mythical, but we'll take those. So mythical number 3 now. And, this is the same spot we killed the melanistic. So we've got the pair here, running straight across and then missing them 12 times. Just gonna reload now because I'm worried the other ones are gonna spook from this. That's got them. Then these 2, yeah, they are long gone. I'm gonna leave them because it's just gonna, probably we're gonna miss. So we'll just get them the next time. But at least we're starting to see a little more on the high estimates. So we've got the female, just a level 2. I do see that relatively often with our mythicals, like many times. It's with a really low level female. I don't know that there's any correlation there, but it's been fairly consistent. But as for the actual mythical, another low one, 12.57. So like 13 plus mythicals are not at all uncommon, but all of them today have kind of barely been mythicals. You know what's interesting? It's this part of the map that keeps on producing at least pretty big fox. One level higher, and we'd be in great shape. Oh, I don't know how we missed that. She must have just taken off before that shot got off. And straight behind the hill, but at least we're seeing that uptick in big ones. It's just been a little slower than usually. So we might be able to save this yet. I don't know if she's in front of the hill or behind it. Apparently in front of it, there we go. And I've lost track. Mythical number 4 or 5. There's a 13 plus finally. 13.12, go figure. Straight through the vertebrae, which wasn't really intended, but it works. And with all those mythicals, you'd think somewhere out there we'd actually see a diamond, and I promise it is actually possible. So that's a welcome sight. Our first level 9 fox of the grind, and really at that distance, I think we're just gonna go for this. I guess we smoked a tree the first time, but we got him on the follow-up. He was with a level 2 female that took off, so probably we'll want to go and track that down and not kind of get confused thinking it's a solo female. But 13 to 16 estimate, first one, at least actually here doing the island method. We did kill a level 9 during the pheasant grind. I think that was on this road somewhere. So nice to actually have the fox grind itself producing a diamond. I mean, I say a diamond. Plenty of room in that score estimate for the troll, but that is the orange fur, and that is just barely a diamond red fox. 14.08 diamonds, 14.05. That might be our smallest diamond ever, but the orange fur is a little bit unique. We'll definitely tax that, being that it is our first of the grind, and I imagine the first of quite a few to head to the grind lodge. But full session score after completely missing them, I like it. Moving in the right direction. So yeah, we have gone quite a number of kills since that legendary, and by the way, right back in this zone is another mythical, and weirdly enough this time, I just don't see the female fox. She's probably there, because about every time this happens, there is one and I'm just not seeing it. So let's go ahead, get that, and then just zooming out and looking for movement. The other thing that I've had happen a couple times, the female, or actually usually it's the male, a lot of times I see the female and not the male, they'll just like run off ahead, and somehow the other one's still there, so that's kind of my guess. There's probably a track up there. And sure enough, there was a female fox here somewhere, so probably the last thing we do here is going to be tracking her down real quick. Back to below 13, 12.99 on the weight though, and 12.89 score. We'll go and find her just so that when we come back next time, there will be an actual pair here, not just the solo female. It's not like a huge deal. If we left her and just got her on the next run, let's say, it would be the solo female then, but it would come back as a pair the following run. But just so we don't have to worry about that, we'll find her. There she is. just level 6. Kind of hiding behind that brush. Apparently so to where the bullet didn't get through. That time we got her. And we do have a pretty nice collection of red fox to take back to the lodge. I'm not exactly sure what our kill count is. It's between like 650 and 700 though. So we're moving right along. And what, 3 rares and a diamond? Not too bad all things considered. But then what we're gonna do is go ahead and tear apart the Meltdown with the albino and the piebald from the live stream. Because I definitely think the albino and the mellow will look cooler. So we'll jump into that. Dismantle that mount. And then we can actually just make 2 of them since we have the diamond as well. So it is somewhere on here. There we go. First we'll do the albino and the Malek, because that's the one I'm actually most excited to put up. And we'll make the other one real quick. So we've got the piebald and we've got the barely diamond. Throw the 2 of those together. We'll do the piebald in common there. Maybe a pose like that. That's actually kind of cool. Shows off the piebald coat really well. And then these 2 together, like that is just really, really cool. Obviously, until this update with the Great One Fox, this was never a multi-mount we could do anyway. But those 2 together just makes for a really, like, sweet-looking multi-mount. The contrast, the differences in, like, the coat, you can kind of see it. The albino is just a little fluffier. I think we're going to do that right there. 4 foxes kind of fighting, all 3 rares, and 1 diamond. And that is probably the only thing that I'm not like super optimistic about right now. We don't have a bunch of diamonds showing up. All those mythicals I think are good, but I'd like to see just a few more 9s in there to make me really feel like we've got this thing going. But all those rares, that is a heck of a good sign. I always feel like it's checkpoints along the way. There's no true progress or anything like that in Great One grinds. At the end of the day, you're relying on randomness, but just seeing something positive. If nothing else, it's a little more motivation to keep on going. So anyway, that is going to do it for this video. As always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.